Good morning. Hello. Happy Thursday. How's your Thursday going?
So far, so good.
Thank you for reminding me. I said, happy Thursday, and Susan said, it's Thursday.
Mm-hmm. It is.
How's everybody doing out there today? Welcome. I'm excited to be joining you. I know sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, but here I am today. So
thanks for joining me.
Yeah, I am so excited about today. Susan has some fun projects to share with you guys. I'm going to pop the comments on here, so as you guys are hopping on to watch today, even if you're watching on replay, say hello. We would love to say hi to you. Let's see who's
lots
here.
Of people.
Those red ones are hard to read, aren't they?
Yep.
We have Claudia. Beth is here. Hello. Good morning, Rachel. We have...
Rachel's easy because it's blue.
I know. Rachel's my only blue so far.
Yeah.
Hi, Angela. Dawn's
like
here. Sue is here. We have Terry. Oh, Susan's getting out her glasses.
It helps. It helps if they're clean.
I know. Nobody needs to see my face all up in the screen trying to read the names. But yeah, glad you guys are joining us today. If you are kind of following along through April, then you know that we are doing Throwback Thursdays every Thursday in April.
Very
exciting. I know. This gives us a chance to bring out some of those past kit products. A lot of times our kits do sell out, and that leaves people wanting for those products. And so typically what we've been doing is kind of releasing some of those products. Some of them never come out, and some of them sometimes come out up to maybe a year later. So we always tell you, if you see a kit and you love it, grab it when you love it, because it might come out and it might not. But in the case of this kit, today is the day.
Today's the day. It's perfect timing, I feel like.
It is. I know. We're getting a little bit more springy. I feel like I actually saw a ladybug the other day.
Was it red or orange?
Okay. I'll give it to you.
Sorry.
What are they called? Japanese beetles? Or they have a different name.
I don't know. They don't.
But they're the orange ladybugs.
They're my least favorite things.
They're the mean ladybugs.
I like the red ones.
And they smell bad.
When
they land on you and then they leave you and then they leave a yeah.
Nope.
So, okay, I did not see a true ladybug, but we have some beautiful ladybugs to feature on
ours are cute.
Today.
And
yes.
not smelly.
Not orange, and they don't smell. Yeah. Oh, so anyway, what we are doing with our Throwback Thursdays is some of those past kit products are releasing, and then to give you guys even more versatility and kind of reinvigorate the uses of those kit elements, we have some brand new products. So even if you purchased our Hey Lady kit when it was first made available, you will even have some new things here in order to use with the products that you already have. So
to zhuzh them up a little.
Zhuzh. I love that word. Okay, well, I am going to walk you through the new products, and then Susan's going to craft with you. So stick with us for just a few more minutes while I share the new things, and then Susan will start creating these beautiful projects. I love these, Susan. So fun. And I can't wait for you to show this kind of interactive ladybug. You see those wings? They move. They open and close. I only had one finger available, but isn't that fun? I love that. Yeah. Okay, so these are the ones Susan's going to be making today, but let me talk you through the products. So previously available in our Hey Lady kit, we now have the Hey Lady Stamp and Stencil combo. That is a rubber stamp to stamp the black portions of the image, and then the stencils create the flower layers and the wings. Heather designed this set, and it's kind of in a fun series that she has going. There's dragonflies, butterflies, bees, ladybugs, and maybe something new to come. So super fun, Hey Lady, and then you have that coordinating die that cuts out all the ladybugs. The flowers are actually separate die pieces in this set, so the flowers in the background don't actually get cut out with the die. And these can be kind of popped in, cut from cardstock and popped in wherever you choose. So lots of good stuff that you can do with these. I do too. They're just kind of fun, whimsical little flowers you can use for a lot of things. So as you know, with our kits, we release some things that are available outside of the kit, and then they remain available on our website. So these 3 items have been available on our website since the kit launched last year. But I wanted to bring them up again because they do specifically coordinate with these items. They are Foilet Ladybug Scenes, and then we have mini strips Hey Lady Sentiments, and then our Insiders Hey Lady. So you can find those in the Throwback Thursday category, and they do qualify for the special offer that we have. I'll talk about that next. When you purchase any item in that Throwback Thursday category, while supplies last, you're going to receive 6 of these Ladybug envelope seals. They are super cute.
They're adorable.
So fun. We've got 3 with polka dots and 3 with hearts. So you will get a total of 6 envelope seals when you purchase any 1 or more items from our Throwback Thursday category. And they will automatically add to your cart, so you don't need any special coupon codes or anything like that. Okay, let's take a look at our new products to go with Hey Lady. This background I think is going to be really fun, and not just for our ladybugs, but I mentioned the bees and the dragonflies and the butterflies that Heather has designed previously. This background stamp is called Twisty Trails.
It's going to be all kinds of things to use.
I know, you really could use it with a lot of stuff. So a lot of our samples right now are going to show it with ladybugs, but think beyond that. And it is a full-size background that you can use with those little trails to kind of put your ladybugs or bees or butterflies throughout that. Then we also,
you can find that flies.
or whatever else you have that flies, yeah. And then the other one we have is called Love Bug. So this is an add-on ladybug. It is larger than the ladybugs that are in your Stampin' Stencil combo artwork. And it's kind of designed to be a focal point. We did design it with a tiny hole, which I'll let Susan talk more about, but that's so that you can use a long-lost supply in your craft room.
Long lost.
I am going to show them this long-lost supply. Anybody have these paper fasteners, i.e. brads? Yes, I think they're commonly known as brads by most crafters. But Susan's going to show you how to use those to create this wing element as an interactive piece. So you can open up those wings to reveal a little message or sentiment. We do have a limited quantity of these brads just in case you've done some purging of your craft stash and you no longer have brads. You can grab these. They are all black.
I feel like you're implying something here.
Susan, did you recently purge all of your craft stash and get rid of your brads?
Yeah,
She did.
Sure did.
She said it would have been nice if you would have told me you were planning on this, and then I would have kept my brads. But
yeah, like even a month ago would have been real nice. So.
Lori says she still has plenty of brads. Pam loves brads, so that's good. I'm glad. And Kathleen said, I have thousands of brads.
Oh, I'm sure I'll come across some one of these days.
I love it. Lots of you sound like you're in good company, and this one supply that you decided to keep without a particular use for it, you now have a new use for it. So let's take a look. Those are the 2 brand new items, and we'll take a look at a few more samples that the design team created with these. Look at how cute this is. Jill created this one using that Twisty Trails background in kind of a variated or various colors. I wanted to say variegated, but it's not really variegated. It's almost like a rainbow background. She inked those Twisty Trails in different colors. And then she added some foam to the bottom of these wings and kind of curled them. So you can also use that larger Love Bug as a non-interactive die as well. Then she also created this one, stamping the black, maybe if I get it up to the light, you can see those Twisty Trails in the background are embossed with our diamond embossing powder. So it's sparkly on those Twisty Trails. So super fun on that one. I love everybody chiming in saying, we're supposed to purge stuff? I still have lots of brads. I never get rid of anything. I love this.
I have run out of space, so it's time.
And then we've got a couple more here. Love the Twisty Trails in white on the black cardstock. And then, of course, Heather did her toffee magic over here, stamping the Twisty Trails tone on tone in the background.
I like they use
fun.
Of these instead.
Yes, I love being able to highlight those little dots with our black enamel dots to make them glossy. Super fun. Whitney sent me a couple more samples here to share with you guys. So this one uses one of our pre-printed panels. So this is one of the panels from the Foilet Ladybug scenes. Another way you can use foil, kind of look at how pretty that is, the way that it sparkles and shines. I love that. And then a couple others that when the kit was released, these are a few that I made using the flowers that you get in that die set to create some fun little spots for these little ladybugs to hang around a floral element. So
Again,
super fun.
Those flowers, I love them.
I do. I know.
I
They
like
look a
their shape.
lot bigger here than they do on the packaging. So I had forgotten actually how big that largest flower is and how you can create a whole bouquet with those little die cut flowers. All right. I think
I have
I've
a
made it
question.
through
Did
my
you-
part. Yes.
Okay, give me this one with the sparkle.
Yeah.
Did you guys design this to work like that?
No.
Isn't that cute?
That is cute.
Miss Jill.
Jill,
I
very
should've known.
creative. So she
Yeah.
used those little hearts to cut into the wings
Yeah.
instead of placing hearts on top of the wings.
I think that's so cute.
Very fun. It is kind of hard to see, but you can see that the hearts are actually cut into the wing pattern.
Save you some gluing right there.
I mean, that was not intentional, but you can see they are
attached.
connected together as one die, so it would be easy to place those on the wing. The dots, you could not do that because they're all connected as 6 total circle dies. But thanks for pointing that out. That was fun.
Yeah. I thought it was cute.
Let's see. We had one more question. Oh, Lee says, how can the samples get cuter and cuter? Thank you, Lee. And then somebody else asked, what is the background on Taylor's sample?
I almost wanted to mention that too because
Is
I
it
think it's
playful
so clever.
plaid?
Yeah, it's so
Right?
clever that you did that because that's from the clear
Yeah.
set that you went and filled in.
Well, sadly it is, but the clear set is actually one that's not being released. So the clear stamp that came in the kit is not available on the website separately, but if you did get the kit previously, then you would have these little elements, or we might have something in another set.
I'm
We make
sure
all
we
kinds of
do.
little,
Especially in
Whitney
the
calls them
clears.
bits and bobs.
Yeah.
So lots of bits and bobs that can go inside that playful plaid background.
Oh, I'm sure of it. Because, gosh, and they're in clear too.
Yes.
I'm sure.
So you
yeah.
can place them easily. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cute. Is it my turn
It's
now?
your turn.
And I do have tea to spill, so they're
Oh,
really
yes.
good at reminding me. So.
Yeah, if you make them behave, then they get tea at the end.
Yes.
And for those who don't know, if you're new here, what Susan is referring to is we call it spilling the tea. At the end of our Thursday lives, we typically spill the tea on some kind of sneak peeks of what's coming next week. So,
On Tuesday.
yay!
Which Taylor will be back on Tuesday next week.
I
So,
will.
yeah, to spill, to show
To
the
share.
tea that I'm going to spill. Yeah. It's not tea anymore then, right?
Right.
So I'm going to show you the interactive bit of this little ladybug that we designed just so that you can maybe reveal a message or just have fun making the wings move on your ladybug. Again, like Taylor said, I had ditched many of my brads as I've been purging. As I have mentioned to you guys many times on my lives, I'm sure you're still saying, how are you not done? I know I have said this before, but my craft room is half mine and the other half is my husband's work room. So whenever he is working from home, I don't get to go up there. So I got another few hours on Saturday, so that was kind of fun. I got some more things done, but the brads were ditched quite a ways back. So this, I kind of had fun just kind of playing around with what the ladybug would fit, like what that body would fit. There are many things, and I only just scratched the surface with what's in our collection, but Pop Sentiment has a few, not all of them. Some of them are a little too big, but something to do is if you just take your ladybug, and I would cut it kind of out of center of a piece of cardstock, because we're going to use this again later to help line up the sentiment. But then you can kind of see how it fits. Like even this "You're awesome" is a little tight, but it could still work. But like the big hugs, the "Miss Your Face," the cheers, I think those fit really well. The "Get Well Soon" would fit really good. The "Thank You's" a little tall. Then I also found this one, because this one had just come out recently. Let me see if I can grab a piece of white paper. This one came out just recently. It might have been with the For Her release. I can't remember, but Itty Bitty Everyday. And there's tons in here that will fit. These are much smaller. So depending on how much of that area you want to fill up, like the Sending Hugs is much smaller in comparison to the high that I used from Pop Sentiments. But there's tons of really good ones in here. And then it's kind of fun to see what mini strip sentiments will match up with them. So this one, these two, unlike today I'm going to use the Hey Lady mini strips. But for these two, I had Magical in my stash, and I just thought this one was kind of fun because Just Because could work with like Just Because and then put You're Awesome in there, or Just Because You're the Best, put that in there. But there's tons on here that I think are fun. So the Flying By to Say Hi, that's on this one. I took my trimmer and cut off the HI because it said Flying By to Say Hi. And I just took my trimmer and cut that off because I knew I was going to put it actually on the ladybug. And then this one, the Sending Hugs, and then Just Because is the one at the top of this one. But that's from the mini strips Magical. But like I said, today I'm going to use some of the sentiments from the Hey Lady I'm going to use the Hey Lady and then the Hi, I think, today. So I'm going to walk you through my cards. These are both new stacklets that we've come out with just recently. And then if you notice, both of these have an embossed with one of the die stacklets. I don't know that I can even begin to catch that in the light. It's kind of fun. You can see it a lot better in real person. There's a line right here that's embossed into my cardstock, my card base there. Just kind of frames things in, kind of brings things together. Maybe it's easier to see on this one. This one I used the deboss, and this one I used the embossed. So maybe the embossed is a little easier for you to see if you can kind of see up around the arch of this one. So, and I will walk through how I'm going to make that. This is the one I'm going to make today, but both of them come along with doing basically the same thing. So let's start with this one. I went ahead and ink blended my ladybugs ahead of time, just so that you guys didn't have to watch me go through that whole process. So I've already done my ladybugs. So of course we have the background stamp that you stamp on sugar cube cardstock. The thing I want to tell you is we are blending over whichever you use, Oreo or VersaFine, Nocturne ink, whatever you use. Make sure you stamp it, and especially if you stamp it a few times, make sure you heat set it. You could put clear embossing powder over it and heat set it, especially if you're using the VersaFine Nocturne. But even with our Oreo, make sure you heat set it, because that ink sometimes takes a little bit to fully soak down into the paper. So just make sure if that's what you're doing, because we're going over the top of some of this black, or at least getting close to it. I suppose it's not over the top, I misspoke, but you're getting very close to it. Just make sure you heat set that and get it really dry. Or if you're one of those like me that gets little moments in your stamp room, like stamp this and then know tomorrow you'll be back to ink blend over it. And for us, we specifically on the layers, we put layer 1, which is the red one, and then 2 and 3 are the flowers, and then 4 is the black dots. And we did that last just for that reason. So this is one of those that you might really want to follow the direction. So on our etching, on our stencils, it'll say TESN, which is our product number -1, and then 2, 3, 4. So you just want to make sure you follow all the way down. This one is also really nice because we did do the antennas and the head of the ladybug etched into this, so you know for sure you've got everything lined up perfectly. It's a little bit of insurance to make sure you've got it, because this one doesn't have the squares as we do sometimes with our stencils. So follow that. But I did ink blend these guys ahead of time just so that I could make sure we were ready and I didn't have to go through all the process of that. Let me see if I can find them. Set them down and there they are. I have a bag full of ladybugs. And like Taylor said, the die that coordinates that doesn't cut out the flowers, but it does cut out, it does give you dies for flowers so that you can go ahead and cut those out, and I'm going to use those today. So this die is just the ladybugs. It's because the die lines are so close, we can't have them overlapping. Just to let you know if you wonder why we didn't do it that way. So let's start with this. I grabbed a A2 card base, but I wanted it side folding the horizontal way so that the card opens this way. Before we get going, so I don't forget, I'm going to go ahead and do the hard part, and what I think is the hard part, of the part that I think is kind of interesting to this card. I'm going to go ahead and take my die. Maybe we should do two. I didn't do it with this one, but maybe let's do that. I'm going to do two of them. We'll do a double emboss line. So let's get this out of the way. I'm going to line these up first just to make sure I have everything going properly. Then we'll bring our die cut machine in. Aloha from Hawaii. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I'm sure I did throw out brads. The brads that I tossed were the bigger ones. I had some that were multicolored, you know, like pink and hot pink. I swear I had every color under the sun, but I had them all organized in a nice little organization thing, and I just was like, I haven't touched these in forever. So my husband, he's sweet. He did say, well, why don't we maybe think about getting you more space so you can keep some of this stuff? And I feel like my mind is more creative when I can find things, when I know where everything's at. So I said, no, I'm going to keep the things that are important to me, and that I said I won't give up things that I love, but for the time being, I said to find things, I need this place to be organized. Mainly it's because the footprint of my stamp room has been the same for 20 years, and it's just time for it to change. Sorry, I want to make sure these are straight, and I was probably being too fussy. It was pretty straight. I put extra tape on this because I don't want them to move. So all I'm doing is I took our A2 layer stacklets and I picked the two that are the next down from the rectangle I used here. So it's the 4th and 5th smallest on this rectangle die set, A2 layer stacklets. I'm taping them together so that they're evenly spaced. Then I will take my die cut machine. And I know I've showed you guys this before, but we'll show you again. I'm going to put some extra tape on this while I've got it out. I just want to make sure these two don't move in this process because I have them all lined up nice and neat and evenly. And I have used the tape that I was using, has been used once. So to make an impression or an embossed with your dies, you basically take your Sizzix, which that's what I work with, so that's what I'm familiar with, and you take it down to whatever you would use for a regular embossing folder, a regular one. Then I will take I'll need one cutting plate, my our embossing pad kit. I know our machine here at TE, and I know I only need the thick one, but it's completely, you have to try your machine to know like what your tension is, because we have another one here that we use even more. This is kind of the one on our live station, and it's got a little bit better tension. It's a little newer. It doesn't get used as often. So I know for this one I only need one. Now the next part is I want to have these impress in here, but if I want, so my card opens like this. If I want it debossed, I will go from the front. I know I can probably just flip this around, but I've already scored it and made sure I used a bone folder to get that crease in really well. So if I want debossed, I'm gonna go that way. Otherwise, I'm gonna flip it over because I kind of want to see, I liked the impressed a little bit better. Now forgive me, I'm gonna scooch this just so I can get my head over this and make sure this is nice and centered. before we go and send it through. I'll leave it. I'm going to tape it down. I might even grab, I was going to grab my ruler, but it's MIA. Okay. So I have what would be the inside of my card, the front. I have my cutting plate, my thicker piece of my embossing pad. This piece has come out of my Sizzix. Mine at home is still one of the hinged ones, so I just have to open it up. So it depends on whichever way your machine is. Then you run this through, but the reason why the die line isn't cutting is because it's getting pushed down into this mat. So run that through. I'm going to come back. I'll check it before I peel everything up, but yep, there we go. And that would be the front of my card. Can you see the lines? Is it a little bit easier to see now? So again, I wanted them to be up, so I went ahead and put my die on what I'd consider to be the inside of my card base. So let me just get this out of the way. We don't need this anymore. Back here. And that's how I got that just little bit of extra detail on my card. And you could do that same thing. The arched stacklets, you could do the same thing with, I don't know if you could double them because they're a little bit, have a little bit more space between them. But with this A2 layer stacklets, it's down, there's so many layers to it that it's easy to grab 2 of them and get this impression. So there we go. Oh, going the wrong way. Reinforce this. So that's gives me that little bit of extra detail line. I just think it looks fun and it's not that hard to do. You already have the dies out if you're gonna go ahead and add a detail like the cross stitch. So next thing I wanna do is that little bit of cross stitch detailing. We just released these. Gosh, was it last week or was it this week? Yes, it was this week, right? Anyway, I'm super excited about them. Our cross stitch stacklets, they line up with our infinity dies, our A2 stacklet dies. And I already pre-cut some saltwater taffy. And now I have lost it, even though I pre-cut it, so I'd be all ready to go. Here we go. I have my little basket of all my pre-cut things, and so that's the next die down from what I impressed. And we're gonna take this, and I want, actually before I do that, I wanna put those trails on here. Aren't they so cute? I think the sky's the limit with all the different things we could do with these little trails. Taylor mentioned the dragonflies. I think that would be really cute. Yes, Pam says she loves using that. I mean, think about all the dies that you have too that like coordinate with different butterflies, or a lot of times our cutting plates, the big background cutting plates, are so cool. Impressed with that. So just kind of keep your mind open with things that sky's the limit. It helps stretch your supplies a little bit. Use when you ink blend the ladybugs. What colors you used. This is cherry pop for this one. This one is cherry pop with a little bit of mulled wine. Because I used our red pepper cardstock, and if you combine a little bit of cherry pop with mulled wine, and I mean the lightest hand of mulled wine, you can get red pepper. And that's what I used on that lady, the wings on this one. You can tell that this one looks a little bit different with the red. So is that what you're asking, is more what colors I used? I went with the cherry pop over the whole background with that layer 1. And then with this one, I just added just a hint of mulled wine to give it that depth to make it closer to cherry or red pepper. Red pepper is one of those colors that I don't believe will ever come out with the ink to match it, just because it's so close. It's just a little bit darker than cherry pop. And sometimes if you double stamp or triple stamp cherry pop, it's almost red pepper. So just know that you can use what you have for ink and it will coordinate nicely with red pepper. So this is saltwater taffy cardstock, and I'm stamping with sprinkles though, because saltwater taffy can be pretty light and minimal. So just to get that depth so you can see them, I went with sprinkles on top of the saltwater taffy, but that gives us their little trails. Aren't they cute? Oh yes, the back. This could be good with the unicorns. Oh, that's a great idea. Stamped rainbow. I love the ideas you guys come up with. So I'm gonna grab our glassboard pal, which I am obsessed with. We've kind of had it in the office for some time now, just because we were trying to see what we thought of it and if we liked it. So I am in love. I love how it nice and close. I love that it literally stays put. If you at all have grip strength issues to get this off, sometimes it can really, I swear, the longer it sits there, the more the magnet gets even stronger, even though it doesn't. It just sits there, and I don't know why, but it just seems to almost stick even more. But slide it off of the glass board, and it's easier to get it off. So I am ink blending this around the edges with, again, some of that sprinkles ink, mainly because I didn't want the X's that I'm going to impress to also catch the ink. It'll just make them dark, and I don't really want to call them out that much. So I am going to add the little cross stitch stacklets last. This just gives us a little bit of depth, kind of calls to the center of this rectangle. I love that idea. The unicorns. The unicorns need more like background things, so I think that would be fun. That foilet that came out, Taylor took all the new products, but the foilet that just came out recently, I've seen a lot of people just use that and color it, and I think it could be really fun for like a card for a kid or something, just to have that cute colored background. Those big flowers I think are a lot of fun. So again, this is the cross stitch stacklets. It's the third smallest that I'm gonna use. I'll just lay it on here in place. Grab my tape. A little bit of tape, and being as I have blended on this, I'm going to stick the tape, even though it's the Scotch removable tape, which is literally my favorite. It is what I use at home. Favorite tape, because it doesn't tear my cardstock. But being as I did ink blend, that makes the cardstock a little bit wet. So go ahead and like I did, I stuck it on the back of my hand. Bring our die cut machine back in. We don't need our mat this time. Swap these around. I'm sure you've heard Taylor and I say that we have one mat plate that we cut into and one we try to keep not cut into. It gets a little marred just from the dies themselves, the back of them, but we try to keep one. And I love, so the other card I did with the new arched ridge stacklets, and I love them too. So that gives that little bit of extra. If I had done this first, those X's would really have grabbed the ink and gotten kind of dark. So that's why I did that last. One of my big things that I try to do is take my time with thinking about how my ink is going to blend on and how that'll affect what I want in the end. So there's another background that we released recently with all this, with our basics, is Polka Chic, and I am going to use this a lot. Just warning you. I think I love it. I'm very obsessed with the whole black and white polka dot or black cardstock with white polka dot, so I think I'm going to be using that quite a bit. So I took it and I stamped it already because I like using VersaFine, and VersaFine black onyx ink takes just a little bit to dry unless you want to use a heat tool, and I didn't want to bother you guys with listening to the heat tool. So I had stamped that earlier today, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that down, but I wanted to make extra sure that it was dry and that I wasn't going to smear it. I don't know about you guys, but I smear it. I have a habit. The other thing is, if you don't want to if you want to die cut, make sure that you use a heat tool or something to set it. It really does make a difference. So we're cut this down to just shy of 2 inches. You could do 2 inches, but I did like 1 7/8 for mine. Cut this down. I like to make sure my polka dots are going straight, so I did that ahead of time. I have plenty more for the future because I just stamped it on an A2 panel. So again, I have my embossed background. That's where that will go. Set that on there. I'm gonna go ahead and use a little bit of liquid glue. Love the polka dot. Oh, I'm so glad. Trisha's with me. I was so excited when we got this. Because sometimes those basic things are what you just need to give that little bit of extra something to your card. Kind of like the cross stitch that I added to the edge of this. It's just that little bit extra thing. And then, I don't know, those are kind of probably my favorite supplies because I've been doing this for a while, as I've said. It's just kind of nice sometimes to have that little bit of something to change up your projects and make them fresh. At least, if nothing else, for me, right? So we'll go ahead. This is going to need just a little bit of foam tape behind it. I'm going to add that. I know it's weird to say though that this is Easter weekend coming up. Do you guys have big plans? My family, my brother's hosting this year, so I just need to be on time and drive for a little over an hour, couple of hours to get to him. And they're hosting, so it'll be really nice. Are you guys, what are you guys doing? Do you guys travel? Then the other thing is, we're kind of like a whatever when it comes to Easter. We might grill something. We don't have any specific item. Like that has to be, at Christmas time, we all have a specific, I feel like, item. But maybe my family's just missing it. Maybe there is something specific. So I'm going to go ahead and set this down. The nice part is getting this straight should be pretty easy with this embossed line that we already have, but still I'm going to get it scooched down here. Forgive me for bringing it down a little bit. I just want to make sure it's straight. But I have these lines I can follow. And I also have some polka dots that are straight that I can follow over there, which is kind of nice. But then I do have to reach in here and peel off my backing. Oh, no Easter, but she has a birthday weekend. Happy birthday, Lee. Happy birthday. My girls are older, so we don't have to worry about all that. We're to the point now that if we do Easter eggs, they have money in them. They have money in them. I mean, even we adults, right? We like a good Easter hunt, right? Family and friends. Does anyone have to travel very far? I don't know that. With most jobs, you don't get extra time off, not like you do for Christmas and New Year's. So it's kind of hard to travel. But that's the base of our card. There's all kinds of things that this base could be used for. And again, I like that I went with the rectangle because I feel like you guys can really see it. I know with the arched, I was using the largest one. So there wouldn't have been a double that I could do unless I went smaller with my arch. So, okay. Let's go on to how we're going to decorate the top of this. And I'm going to bring in my little ladybug map that I told you to save. So again, I just took some Oreo cardstock. This time I did use Oreo instead of sometimes I like the intense black, but I didn't know if I wanted such intensity with this one. Oh my gosh, Pam. She says egg hunt and an auction with the money in the eggs. Oh, I love that. 4 hours. Okay, oh, I love it. You guys are going all over the place. Oh, and Trisha does not have to. Oh, Trisha, you do have to host. I love it. You're excited about that. I wouldn't be excited about having to host. So and I just moved I was trying to be proactive ahead here, but I just wiggled this. So now I'm not sure if my high is in the exact spot. So let me just flip this over. This is where sometimes with our Misty Grid paper, it has a little wiggle in it. So this is where I should have put down some tape just to make sure it stays in place. And I'm just going to use whatever ink. I'm going to pick an ink that's easy to clean off. So I'll go with that Sprinkles that was still here already. Oh, and my ladybugs could have a home in my little, look at that. They have a space to be for a little bit. I'm going to need it again, so I probably shouldn't have done that. But let's clean that off now, but that's where my high is, and I don't have to worry about it wiggling. Oh, you guys are so nice, Kay Andrews. Thank you. I appreciate that. just talking about giving us a thumbs up. That is if you like it. So I'm going to go ahead with my ladybug because I want this ladybug to be a little bit directional on my card. I want kind of the antennas to kind of look like it's flying up this way. So I am going to tip it. If you wanted the high to be straight on, you could go there. But I wanted, this was my design choice, to kind of have the body flying up off my card. So then I don't want my high to be perfectly straight. So I'm going to put the high a little bit to the side. I mean, it won't be a huge deal. It isn't like a long written word or anything, but I do like having it kind of tipped to the side so that I can have that high going in a direction that is pleasing with the rest of my card. So again, I said use this template to find your sentiment that you think fits in there well, but then save it. I would go ahead and put it in with your ladybug, stamp and stencil and all that. Save it, don't get rid of it. I'm gonna go ahead and powder tool this because I am going to emboss white embossing powder on that. So I'll set that in there. You can see all the residue that I left behind. That means I should have a good result, so I like that. Corral those ladybugs. I love it, Whitney. So true. Okay, so I feel like I'm doing a better job trying to look at your comments because I asked this questions last time and I forgot to look, and I think you guys maybe didn't reply a ton. Do you guys have any cards that you've started but not finished? I feel like this is an issue that I need to remedy because as I've been cleaning my stamp room, I just keep finding it. I bought our A2 storage sleeves that are for cards, like finished cards, but and I'm on my second pack, and there's like a lot in a pack. I can't remember if it's 50 or 100 in the pack of cards that I have started and not finished. What set is the high in, please? It's out of the Pop Sentiments, this one. And there's other ones in there that will work from. Aren't they so cute? One of my favorite ones in this one is I Miss Your Face. I love that. Which, for me, I have a friend that lives in Colorado and I don't get to see her much. So I feel like that's my sentiment for her and for my girls, even though they're not that far away at college, but sometimes during the week when I don't get to see them for a couple of weeks, I miss their face. And I say that, and I know there's moms and people that go a lot longer in between seeing their kids. But for me, this is my reality, and 2 weeks is usually my limit, and I want to see them. So, all right, that's my high with some white embossing powder on it. So let's see, did anyone answer me? Yep, Pop Sentiments. I must be the only one that has these unfinished cards. I think it's because so often I think, oh my gosh, I should make 2. I have everything out. I'm gonna heat the back of this. Okay, thank you, April. I appreciate that. I do have a lot of card panels too for the same reason. Because sometimes if I'm feeling like I'm not inspired, I'll do panels or I'll just ink blend because it's fun. Every once in a while, if I travel, I just bring panels with me to ink blend. Some of those are that in my stash. But I bought a bunch of those A2 card sleeves to put them in so that 1, they're easy to flip through, and 2, they won't get damaged before I actually get a card made out of them. Oh, so there's my high. I'm gonna let this cool a bit before I take it and buff it. I'm gonna buff it with, if any of you guys got the advent calendar, you got one of these buffing cloths. It helps. That's all we use it for. It's with our embossing stuff, and or just a clean microfiber cloth will do the same thing for you. Okay, so with this, being I ink blended my little ladybugs in Cherry Pop, my wings are in Cherry Pop. I'm going to show you the difference because I cut both. So does this help any of you? I know red pepper and Cherry Pop, so this one is red pepper and this one is Cherry Pop. Can you see the difference? I'm going to try to tip it in the light. You can barely see the difference, but for some cards, that little bit of depth and I don't know, I want to call it a little bit of like gray or brown that's in the red pepper is just what you need for a project. It just makes that difference. I am so glad we were able to get that one back. So for my ladybug, I am going to position, so these two little holes at the top, you can just leave them. You could cover them up. You could put your own little black dot if you don't want to do the brad thing. But I'm going to line them up as is. And here's what I do. At home, I have one of those, a little foam squishy thing, but I just usually take one of my microfiber cloths and I will poke through to the back of the black, my Oreo in the back there. That gives me the little hole that I need to put the brad through. So I have a black one. Okay, so something I noticed in these, oh, they're all black. I thought some were gold. If at all you need brads of a different color, you can use your Olo markers to color them. Like if you come across it, you have a silver one at home and you wanted a black one. Olos, I've used the black Olo before to color them. Just you got to give them a minute to dry. So pop that through, and that's how you get your high on your ladybug's body, kind of hiding the little sentiment in there. I'm going to go ahead and just, so can you see how I got, my high is going to be straight, but my, I keep wanting to call them butterflies. My ladybug is flying off kind of to the top left there. I'm going to go ahead and pop that up before I forget. The one thing you do want to make sure, I try with my brads to keep the legs, just in case the legs of the brad do move. I try to keep my foam tape away from there. They don't normally move, but I just always, with my interactive cards, I try to make sure my foam stays out of the way of anything that might be moving. So let's grab those. I'm going to use one of these up on the top, so I won't get rid of that. So just put a little foam tape behind my ladybug here. Poor ladybug is like, stop trying to call me by another name. For some reason. Maybe I won't do that because I really don't want to block that mechanism. I'll cut this down just a smidge. It shouldn't move a ton, but I just always really like to keep them free of the foam tape, just in case. Now I can't get it to stay. There we go. Peel that off, and then again, I'm going to keep this open just so I can pay attention to my high. Place that there. And then I can add the little dots, whether you want to use the dots or the hearts. I thought the heart was kind of fun. I know it's different than what's on my ladybugs I ink blended. I don't, because here's the thing. Someone, I apologize, the name is in red, is asking, like, if you blocked the brads, would it keep them from moving? I don't think so, because I don't see the brad moving. You've got the circle. So that's why I say I don't know if it matters. It's just kind of a habit of mine when I'm using foam tape on any sort of interactive card, is I like to try to keep it away from my moving mechanism. So I don't think it'll make a huge deal, but I wouldn't put foam tape over my brad legs just for that reason, just in case it does move a little bit. I would hate for it to be stuck in place and make it hard for those wings to move. But I don't think it really matters, to be honest. It's probably just my own little habit, right? So I have in this little dish, I pre-cut all my little black pieces ahead of time. I still love that sample we had from Jill where she used the dye to create the actual negative spots in the wings. It's so cute. So there we go. And I have our brand new pick and place tool, which I'm so excited that we have and I can finally use now. We used it to create that little opening for the brads. Now we can use it for our decorations for our ladybugs. One tip Taylor gave me with our new pick and place tool is to don't think you have to press hard, and she's absolutely right. Just gentle with it, because it is just, it's pretty malleable. So don't over press with it because you don't want to break that either. We do sell replacements if you do, but we'd rather you not have to buy a new one, right? Especially not right away. And then I like to tip these a little bit, so I'll use the other end of this to move them around, get them where I want them. I always think, make sure you put the lid on these because that looks dangerous, right? I always think, gosh, if I had my flip-flops on, I would hate for this to roll off the table. Make sure you put the lid back on. All right. Use some liquid glue just so I can bump things around a little bit like I would like to. This thing, I think what I love about it is it's teal, but it's a little bit pearl or sparkly. It's so pretty. Not to mention the sparkles in it, but just the color of this handle is so pretty. So there's our little ladybug wings. I gotta get my lid or my pin back in my glue. And then so the being these don't cut out, I like to just take these and have them so that I can ink blend on top of them. I just take them and cut them out of white cardstock, and then I grab a scratch piece of paper, which I drop mine on the floor, and I take one of my other favorite tools in my stamp room is some of this easy dots, but this is repositionable. And I take those and I glue them down just for a temporary time to some scratch paper. I put just some more up here for my other ones. I'll ink blend some little ones too. So cute. Double checking I'm not missing anything. I think someone's still talking about being with their families for, oh, thanks. Linda's wishing us fun with our families over the weekend. I do get to see mine on Sunday, and my girls have some stuff going on at college this weekend, so we're gonna see them for that. So it should be a good weekend. It looks like it's gonna be pretty here, minus some rain, but we need rain, so. And I have my centers already cut out, but these I cut out of sugar cube. And I want 4 of my, or at least 3, I have 4 there, and 2 of my larger ones. The leaves I'm going to do, and those are from Garden Variety, the first one. It's just, it's such a pretty set. And so I'm sure you guys can find a leaf die in something. I just wanted a little leaf. This one was cute, but a little bit big. I love this one. I wish it was just a little smaller. I would have used that one. But I'm sure you have leaves and things. There's no leaf that comes with that set, so I'm sure there's something that you can find to use. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll put those down too while I'm out. Well, I've got my glue handy. Just get it all done. All right, and again, this is where I said my ladybugs, I put them in my little corral, but I'm gonna dump them out because I want to ink blend. Banana cream pie is one of those that we've been having trouble trying to get our cardstock back, but soon, hopefully, we're working on it. We haven't forgot about them. But this is one time where it's really nice to be able to use just sugar cube cardstock, and I get my banana cream pie colored flowers. So ink blend those, and then I am going to come in with a little bit of mango just to add to the end. To give them some color. So this is a great way, if there's any of our colors that we have here at TE where we haven't been able to get the cardstock back in, one, sign up for notification for when they do come back. And also just remember that you can die cut sugar cube cardstock and ink blend it to add whatever color you want. And I really love the dimension that it does add when you ink blend just a white cardstock. Plus, you can do a whole bunch in one color then that way. And then I'll use a little bit of mango just to add to the edges because that is what I'm going to put to this on the center of these. Well, I'm glad you have tons of brads. Good. We just gave you a use for them. That's awesome. I don't know, I'm sure I'll miss certain things, but I am sure loving having more organization to my stamp room already. If you know where everything is, I feel like it just opens up your creativity, and I don't know. I'm loving it already. I'm not fully done, but like I said, it's 20 years of rethinking where everything goes and what footprint I want, and everything is like, do I really need this? Do I really want this here? So, all right. And then these are with pea pod. And if anyone is listening, I just realized I left my pea pod. Maybe I didn't. No, I did. I didn't bring pea pod with me. I'm going to grab it. Give me one sec. Sorry. Luckily, we have a second set of ink not too far from our live station now. I could have totally cut these out of pea pod if I wanted to, but again, I just, like I said, I really love just using, I hear someone, it's probably Whitney coming, I already grabbed it. Forgive me, I did. Luckily, we have them right there now. I grabbed the brush.
Oh, good.
I'm so bad. I think it might be the only thing I forgot today. That's good, right?
You're doing a great job. You're blending gorgeously.
Oh, thanks for the support.
Yay! Okay.
I'm such a dork. I grabbed the brush, but not the ink pad.
No worries.
Thank you. I can always hear when she's coming. She's so good to me. She comes hustling down the hallway. But that gives me all the colors that I want. And I might even, while I have things here, go ahead. It's all taped down. I'm going to go ahead and put my centers while everything's just wrangled in place and so close to each other. I can get all my centers in place too while I'm at it. I like that it's kind of glued down. Everything's in place, not flying around. Use my pick and place tool again. I love this. I believe some people already have it. Did it come with a Black Friday deal, I think? I know some of you have this awesome tool already. I'm just excited that we have it. I do love that the other side is a pierce tool, because those are probably the two most used tools outside of like my die cut machine and stuff like that. Is this my pick and place, and then the little die pick on the other side. So, all right, one more of the little guys. And again, this comes with the die set that cuts out the ladybugs, and the flowers are on the side of that. But there we go. The cute spring flowers. I don't know, we're getting some spring flowers here already. So these are gonna go around my ladybugs. I might place my little ones first, just so I can kind of really get kind of a sight for everything. And being as I wanted to use the mini strips from the Hey Lady today, I'm going to use the Just Wanted to Say, and then it'll be Hi in there. So I'm going to use the Just Wanted to Say. I do want to pop that up, so I'm going to use just a little bit of foam tape to pop that up. I am a believer of, I really like to get my sentiment down just to know how I feel like everything looks placed around it. So, but what I was saying is, last weekend we were in Colorado and they had snow, but they had all of like their daffodils were coming up, their tulips were coming up, and I thought it was odd that they had it before us here in Iowa. But gosh, this week, now I'm seeing all of ours here too, all the flowers. It's kind of fun. Oh my gosh, is it Jane? You use this to clean your glasses. That might be exactly what it is. You're right. Oh, and it's so cute. I might have to do that too, because I bought the advent calendar this year too. So yeah, that would be really cute. I like that idea. You guys are so clever. Just wanted to say, I'm going to scooch that down. I hadn't glued it down all the way, so I'm going to scooch it down just a smidge. I'll have to put it underneath the antenna, but that's okay. Just wanted to say hi. I think that's fun. So my little ladybug, I knocked it to the side. I'll put that down. I'm going to put these guys down flat just so we don't have all the dimension, just on some things. This one coming in here, and then we'll have one coming up kind of from the bottom. The good part about is if you ink blend that background, look at all the extras you get. I think this is twice, but I love all the extras you get. So you can make these cards for a while. Uh-oh, I hear Whitney again. I haven't asked for help. There we go. All right, glue those down, and then we can start rearranging some of those flowers off to the side. So we've already done all the hard part. I'm gonna do some down and some up. So I've got my little sticker sheet as it is right now to add some glue to the back of my flowers. And then a leaf really quick off to the side. And then I will pop up, we're almost done coming in on the end here. I am gonna pop up one flower on both sides, and this one is gonna be the smaller one. So I'll pop this little tiny guy up. So I only need just a little foam square, just to like add dimension here and there. Okay, so I only had one comment that I saw. I'm trying to, we're supposed to purge stuff. Yeah. I might be getting the comments for, sometimes I'm not sure why, but we get comments twice on our end. So I apologize. That might have been from earlier, but I don't think I saw. It must be my own issue of having all of the, cards that are unfinished. I think I start and maybe I lose my mojo, or I get kicked out of my craft room, or I've got to go do something else. But that is my goal, is to get those made into things and get them out the door. So I'm going to do it. I'm getting organized, and there's so many cute things that I have in those little A2 pouches that it's going to get done. I had one time that for the Easter season, like you make a little things you're going to do, and or New Year's resolutions, whatever it might be. I've done it before where I've done just sending cards, like one card a day. I need to get back to doing that, and then my stash might not be so big. The good thing is, being as I do have this embossed, make sure you use some liquid glue to kind of keep things in place, because of that just dimension and that bump that's there. Tuck this one underneath, and then pop that one up, and then we have to spill some tea. Again, get just a little piece of foam tape. I'm getting kind of messy here. I can always tell when I'm getting to the end of my cards because I start losing space on my desk because I have spread out. Sorry, double checking that I haven't missed anything. Jamie's saying you can change a different color brad to black by heat embossing it. Yes, with embossing powder. Yep, that absolutely works. But if you are in a hurry and you just want something quick, I have been using Olos. The black Olo works perfectly. So yeah, and it dries. I actually had better results with that than I did a black Sharpie. So it was much shinier and much deeper black. So there's my, just wanted to say hi from, again, that's the Pop Sentiments. So yeah, let's get cleaned up here a little bit. Bring my card in, and then here was the other one I did basically the same, but I did it with the arch stacklets and the ridge stacklets to add that little bit of extra detailing in there. Let's grab our tea that we're gonna spill. Is everyone ready? Thanks for joining me, and I hope you try it. I hope you try this little trick with trying to stretch your dies a little bit, and how you can get some of our cardstock without actually having that color cardstock. So, all right, I have several things. I got to figure out how I can get these all in my hands just right, because, are you ready? Here we go. So join Taylor on Tuesday at 10. and also join Heather then on Thursday at 10. So that is a sneak peek to what's coming on Tuesday. And thanks for joining me. I hope